Hello, 108 students. Mr. McCue back here, working on section 1.8, or excuse me, section 1.2. What the heck? And we are on page 2. Of course, this is 108 course. Okay. Hey, we're going to keep moving along here. Objective 3 asks us to make sure we do a refresher on finding the distance between two numbers on a number line. Hey, kind of like subtraction, like we just covered. Also known as determining the absolute value between two numbers on a number line. Okay, it's another way to look at perhaps the subtraction concept. This is how you've learned from before, but they go, what's the distance from 8 to -4? Here you draw your number line. Here's 0. Of course, the arrows mean infinity. Here's 8. Here's -4. And the question is, what is the distance to go from 8 to -4? Okay, now visually you can look at this and say, hey, you got to go 8 distances back to 0, and then from 0 to -4 you go another 4 distances. You add them up, 8 plus 4, and you get your answer of 12, which is interesting that absolute value will give that for you. Again, excuse me, absolute value is a way of telling you to take the distance between the numbers, and whatever that result is, you always turn into addition. So we have 8 minus a -4 in this example here. Turn this into subtraction, so the negative becomes addition. The sign goes from -4 to a +4. You do not have to write that. 8 plus 4 is 12, and you're done. Okay, so that's just a quick review on that. Objective number 4, we got divide or multiply numbers. Just a quick review, and what we want to make sure we just refresh. What happens if you multiply numbers that are by the same sign? AKA, they're turned into positive, such as a +3 times a +9 is a +27. What happens if the signs are both negative? So the signs are the same. -3 times -9 is still a +27. Okay, so that's applying of the first rule up here. Maybe I'll just call this, I hate to give them numbers, so first rule, you could put a 1 if you wanted to. Second rule, if the signs of the numbers are unlike, meaning they're odd and even, that when you multiply them, the result is going to be a negative. So look at these two examples. What's a -3 times 9? Think of this. Hey, if I owed $3 for every day I went to to Sonic to buy my famous limeberry cream slush that I love, and I went 9 days straight in a row and put it on my credit card, how much money would I get at the end of the bill for that month? Well, I owed -$3. I did not get out of debt because I kept borrowing 9 times. So that's one way to remember that negative times a positive is a negative, or the opposite of a positive times a negative still produces a negative. Okay, so those should be quick refreshers, but it's always good to do a fast review. When the signs are the same when you multiply, it's a positive. When the signs are opposite, it's negative. These also apply for division too. So you don't have to learn any second set of rules there. Okay, so sorry about that. Let's go on to objective 5, dividing numbers. Got to review real fast. What happens if you have a number divided by 0? Now, one way to remember this is to had students share this with me. I think she learned it from her math instructor way back in the day. Math teacher said when the 0 is under the line, it's undefined. 0 is under the line, it's undefined, which means it doesn't exist in the world. However, if 0 is on top of the line, anything 0 divided by any number results in 0. Okay. Now, one of the ways to help remember this or to prove it to yourself, let's go back here, take 0 divided by 5, and we're going to tell ourselves that when the 0 is above the line, the answer is 0. One way to check these is what's the result is the quotient. What is 0 times the divisor, which is the dividend? 0 times 5 does result in the numerator of 0, and that checks out. And look at this example down here. 12 divided by 4 could be rewritten as a fraction form. 12 fraction bar 4. 12 divided by 4 equals what, class? 3. Let me write this over here. 12 divided by 4. How many times does 4 go into 12? 3 times. That's the quotient. 3 times 4, class, equals, the numerator, 12. So you have to follow that rule to go back and forth. Now, what happens when the 0 is under the line? So let's take a case here now where I take any number. I could take 5 and I'm going to divide it by 0. And you come over here and you're not sure and you forget. What if you put a 0 here? What's 0 times 0? 0. Does it equal the numerator? Nope. Therefore you can't do it. What if you put a 1 here? Make it a 1. 1 times 0. Anything times 0, class, always equals, yes, answer it, 0. So you cannot come up with any value in a quotient that you multiply by 0 in the denominator that would give you the result in the numerator. So therefore you come up with undefined. Does not exist. I like to use the letters U, D to represent that. Okay. So hopefully you remember that, but the key thing is when the 0 is under the line, it's undefined, and that'll help you out here. Couple examples over here of illustrating a positive number divided by a positive number results in a positive. Negative divided by negative, the signs are the same, results in positives in both of these. Here's some examples of a negative divided by a positive or a positive divided by a negative. The result still is negative. Here's a way to look at that. What if I had $12 and I took out $4 to buy myself a Java chiller at Sonic? How many times could I do that? 3 times. Positive divided by negative is still a negative. Okay, class, hey, that's going to do it here for page 2. So I will see you, that wraps up section 1.2, and I will see you at the beginning of 1.3.